severe famine occurred in that country, and he began to be impoverished. So he went and hired himself out to one of the citizens of that country, and he sent him into his fields to feed swine. And he would have gladly filled his stomach with the pods that the swine were eating, and no one was giving anything to him. But when he came to his senses, he said, "How many of my father's hired men have more than enough bread, but I am dying here with hunger? I will get up and go to my father, and I will say to him, 'Father, I have sinned against heaven and in your sight. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Make me as one of your hired men.' So he got up and he came to his father. But while he was still a long way off, his father saw him and felt compassion for him, and ran and embraced him and kissed him. And the son said to him, 'Father, I've sinned against heaven and in your sight. I am no longer worthy to be called your son.' But the father said to his slaves, 'Quickly, bring out a best robe and put it on him, and put a ring on his hand and sandals on his feet, and bring the fattened calf and kill it, and let's eat and celebrate. For this son of mine was dead and has come to life. He was lost and has been found.' And they began to celebrate." Now, I don't know if you've heard that story before. Probably have, right? Raise your hand if you've heard that story before. And if you haven't, you just have. All right? If you hadn't heard that story before, it's brand new and you just heard it. I try to picture this kid. This first son that I'm talking about here. Here he is. Apparently he doesn't have a really good relationship with his dad. Apparently not at all. His dad is there for him, and for some reason he says to his dad, "I'd like to have my inheritance now." You may know this or not know this, but to get your inheritance early would mean to... let me put it this way. I once was talking to a teenager who said to me, "I can't wait till my grandfather dies." I'm like, "What?" They said, "I can't wait till my grandfather dies." And I said, "Well, why can't you wait till your grandfather dies?" They said, "Well, when he dies, he has an inheritance for me. And so that when he dies, I'll actually get the inheritance. Not that I want him dead, but I can't wait till he dies. So that I can get the inheritance." And I was like, "What are you saying?" But this is where this kid was at. And it wasn't just grandfather, it was his dad. And dad doesn't argue, he doesn't do anything, but here's this kid who says, "Hey, I'd rather have it now, and really, I wouldn't care if you were alive or dead." That's the relationship. And so it says he packs up all of this stuff, as I read. He takes it all and he goes into a far country and he begins to waste everything. He spends and he spends and he spends and he spends. And we know that if you do that in life, you end up with nothing, right? You might know people that have a whole bunch of money, but if they just spent and spent and spent and spent, they wouldn't have a whole bunch of money. Right? And so this is what he does. He has this frivolous living, and he's doing all these things. And you got the camera on me today.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll stand in one spot.
I'm just going back and forth.
So it makes it hard for me to have to stand here.
Okay.
So he see, I'm forgetting already.
Well, go ahead. Yeah, I'll just follow you.
He has this. He goes off. He takes his stuff, and he's just living like a king. Lives like a king until he has absolutely nothing. And when bad times come, which bad times come to everyone at some point, he has nothing. Absolutely nothing. And it's so bad, he's reached rock bottom, as they call it. You ever reach rock bottom? Just that time where you're like, I can't do this anymore. What am I doing? And so that's where he's at. He's at rock bottom. And he says, "Man, I'm just going to go to my father. Because he'll accept me and I'll just work for him at least." And so he's on his way back, and I picture this kid on his way back. And as he goes there, I don't think he has anything on. Hardly anything. He has no shoes on his feet. I'm not sure he has a shirt on his back. You okay, Travis? So, I mean, he's really down and out. He's been living with pigs. I'm sure he stinks. And here he comes, and his father sees him, the Bible says, a long way off. And he sees him and says he has compassion on him. And he runs up to him. And I'm trying to picture this because the kid is probably feeling terrible. Because he knows he's done wrong. He knows the way he's treated his dad. He knows he's squandered everything. He's been a complete failure in everything that he's done. And now he goes, and if anything, he's feeling shame. But here comes a father, and runs up to him in compassion. And he puts his arms around him. And he gives him a big hug and a kiss. And he's like, "Let's celebrate. Let's celebrate your home." Now this kid's like, "I've just been partying for the last how many years? I've been partying and partying and partying. I've been partying for a while now. And I get back here, and you're wanting to throw a party for me? I just can't picture what's going on in his mind. And what he's experiencing and what he's feeling, the emotions that he's having, the guilt, yet the happiness. He's seeing his dad in a whole new way, I'm sure. And